All right, good evening. This is Josh Pratt sharing for Tyler Byers. And this is the March 11th special meeting of the North Shore Board of Fire Commissioners. First order of business will be roll call. Amy?
Commissioner Admin,
Here.
Commissioner Pratt,
Present.
Commissioner Byers,
Present.
Commissioner Webster,
Here.
Commissioner Woolham,
Here.
Legal Counsel Matt Paxton,
Here.
Deputy Chief Matt Hochstein,
Here.
and I'm Board Secretary Amy Oakley.
All right, thank you, Amy. Item 2, public comments. Mr. Marin?
Thank you. First of all, congratulations on the passage of the Shoreline RFA. I hope the promised outcomes are fulfilled. I have 2 requests for the board to consider. One, I already sent an email to you in regards to continuing the North Shore Fire meeting transparency practices as part of your RFA meetings. You include meeting agenda, materials, Zoom meetings that are recorded, available to the public, via AV Capture All. The Shoreline Board meeting practice does not provide the transparency of North Shore. Second, please provide equity in the promised tax reductions and fund contributions. The funds identified to provide the tax reductions come primarily from the North Shore General Fund carryover account, $5 million, and approximately $2 million from the Shoreline Reserve Fund. North Shore taxpayers contribute 70% of the money for tax reduction, but will receive only 28% of that tax reduction. The situation is even more inequitable when you consider the change in the fire benefit sprinkler discount. North Shore taxpayers will see their benefit decrease from 50% to 30%, while Shoreline beneficiaries will see their discount increase from 10% to 30%. I estimate this will cost North Shore taxpayers an increase in reduction in Shoreline by 2 to 2.5 million, 250,000. I'm sorry. Shoreline taxpayers receive a reduction of 9 cents per thousand of assessed valuation. North Shore taxpayers just 5 cents per thousand. I put some calculations in here. I will go right now. I estimate the extra cost lost benefit to North Shore taxpayers for 2026 and 2027 years to be about $2 to $2.5 million, plus the extra contribution of the funds to pay for the RFA tax reduction of over $3 million. There are lots of ways to make the calculations, but in any calculation, the North Shore taxpayers get the short end of the stick. Bottom line is North Shore taxpayers funds are used to pay a tax reduction that goes disproportionately to Shoreline taxpayers. You were elected to represent the interests of the North Shore taxpayers. It only seems right for you to stand for your constituents now. I'm asking you to balance the cost of the North Shore versus the benefit to Shoreline by paying down the bond used to construct the North Shore Station 51. The 2025 bond has already been calculated. The remaining amount due to NFP is about $3,368,000. The North Shore Board could fund a trust account to make future bond payments, request the county auditor to make a lump sum payment, or get an agreement between North Shore and Shoreline boards to make future North Shore bond payments with the excess money contributed by NFA. I'm not asking for special treatment for North Shore taxpayers, simply an equitable treatment of the North Shore taxpayers.
Thank you for your comments. Amy, anything from online?
No comments or received at this time.
Okay, next up, approval of the agenda. I'd entertain a motion.
I make a motion that we accept the agenda as presented.
Thank you, Commissioner Webster. Anyone second?
I'll second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded. All in favor, please say aye.
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 And aye. Okay, passes unanimously. Okay, board discussion and possible action items. 4.1, update on Regional Fire Authority. Chief, I'm assuming that's.
Yeah, so I just briefly spoke with Chief Cowan a couple minutes ago. He's extends his apologies that he's not here. He's still feeling pretty under the weather. He did not have a lot for me to pass on from him. He said that he would follow up with the board as he's able and feeling better. He did want, the one thing he did want to make sure that the board was aware of was that May 1st is that first joint meeting at Station 61 at 5 o'clock. And it sounds like there'll be some time between now and then to work on determining what day of the week board meetings will be held with the new combined board. So more to come on that. Chief Cowan did mention that Matt Paxton might have any updates at this point. I'm not sure, Matt, if you do, but you might have an opportunity to chime in at this point if you did.
There hasn't been a lot of action from the legal perspective in terms of finalizing the RFA, but there has been a lot of policy action from Chief Cowan's perspective. So I would just say that while the legal work has been minimal over the last month or so, the actions have still been taking place behind the scenes.
So no other update at this point. Sorry.
Thank you. Appreciate that, Chief. Anything else from other commissioners, comments, questions on the RFA? All right. Fire benefit charge appeals hearing. Chief, are you prepared for that?
No updates, sir.
Okay, have we received any appeals?
Not that I'm aware of, and not that Chief Cowan shared.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Maybe we'll just postpone that hearing until next meeting when Chief can be here. Okay. Okay, item 4.3, Station 57 generator, purchase discussion and approval.
Yeah, so some good news. We've got a quote in hand finally for the Station 57 generator replacement project. Commissioner Webster's had a copy of that.
Yes.
As well. I've had a chance to review it. We've had myself, Shop Supervisor Swanson, who maintains our generators and has been a part of this project, looked it over, as well as Ryan Burgess, our fire marshal, who understands the codes and as it relates to these generators. This has been a long process, as you know. And one thing that I'm very excited about how this has unfolded is that we ended up conducting an electrical analysis of usage of Station 57 to understand kind of our max usage of the building to help us right size the replacement generator. Once that was determined, we worked with the electrical engineers to size that and build in some extra capacity in the case that we ever expand the station or we convert our HVAC system from gas to electric, and just to give us some wiggle room in there. So the quote does a good job of explaining what's included in the scope of the work. I think we're probably 6 months out from getting the generator on the ground there, just to source all the equipment. But there is some work we can do in the meantime, and we're having I'm scheduled to have some follow-up conversations with McDonald Miller about seeing if we can get that the purchase of the generator sped up and in place a little sooner. My goal is to have that up and running before the fall windy season takes place. I think if we can keep our fingers crossed for the next several months while we get everything ready to go, then I'm feeling pretty good. So what's another great feature of this project is that currently Station 57 only runs partial circuits on the existing generator. So whereas our other stations it'll run the entire building, and so with this new generator it'll and the equipment that's going in, it includes the electrical work to power the whole building, power our garage doors, power our all our outlets, power our equipment in the station. So it's going to get us up to a good spot, and I think we've Mac Miller will be working with the city to make sure that everything's met permit wise, and I'm excited to get this project going.
The only question I have is What kind, our capacity for fuel?
It's a good question. I was trying to remember that.
I
It's,
couldn't find that.
yeah, I will find out. I made a note about that. It's long enough to run for 48 hours.
Okay,
I forget what that capacity equates to in gallons of diesel fuel, but we are converting the existing generator as a propane generator. That's gonna be pulled out of there and we'll be running off diesel. And it'll give us that runtime of 48 hours. And as we know, at the north end of the lake, sometimes the wind and the storms put us out for a little while, but hopefully the 48 hours is enough time to run for a while. And that gives us time also we've got the mobile fuel tank on our shop truck that we can get to the stations and refill generators as needed. So that gives us quite a bit of wiggle room in there to keep us going if we need to, if the power's up.
Anything else, Commissioner Webster?
no, I'm ready to make a motion that we approve the purchase of this device.
Okay, I'd like to give the other commissioners an
Right.
opportunity to talk briefly and then.
Oh, that's
and
what
then-
I said.
Yeah.
I'm ready to.
Anyone else, questions, comments on the generator at 57?
Actually, I do. Did we meet our 3 bid minimum for this, or was this underneath that price range?
Yeah, we ended up getting we got two bids. One turned it down and 2 never replied. So we've documented all of that just to make sure that we're crossing our T's and dotting our I's. So, yeah.
No other questions here.
All right, thanks, Chief, for your hard work on this. I know it's been a journey here.
Been a little bit of a journey, but excited for the next
I think
step.
Eric's got a question.
Commissioner Admin.
Oh, I just want to say that I'm happy to see that this is finally getting resolved because that was kind of a hole in our operational readiness.
Yep, agreed. Shout out to our mechanics who've kept the generator running for the last year when it's been a little touch and go. It's gone out of service several times and they've been able to revive it and get it back going again as needed. So they've done some good work but I think everybody's ready for this next upgrade. So
All right, with no other comments, Commissioner Webster?
I make a motion that we go ahead with and approve the purchase and installation of this project.
Okay, we have a motion to approve the purchase and installation of a new diesel generator at Station 57. Is there a second?
I will second that.
All right, it's been moved and seconded. And we've had plenty of discussion here. All in favor, please say aye.
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 And aye. Okay. Approved unanimously. Thank you. Okay, item 4.4, update on other capital projects.
yeah, we've got some traction on several things. One of the items this on this year's capital list is the LED conversion lighting project in the bay here at Station 51. That was a project that started several years ago, many years ago, and only was a portion completed. We got a quote last year to finish that project, and we've got the electrician lined up to probably start that work in the next few weeks. We should have the goal is to get that wrapped up before the end of April. So that will be an improvement in the bay at 51 and just the energy usage. We are also in the process of obtaining, we have 1 bid in hand and we're working on additional quotes for server room suppression system at 51 here. We're learning a few things about that project, including that we'll need to seal that room a little bit better than it is, which would include removing the false ceiling and sheetrocking the ceiling, so that if that suppression system were activated, the gas in there would be contained to that room, and how we can seal the door and so forth. So a couple pieces there that we're working on. What does that mean to put sheetrock ceiling in an active server room, knowing that that equipment's probably sensitive. So we're working with IT to understand that a little bit and what would be involved with that. So still working on a couple quotes for that. The Station 51 carport was budgeted for, and that's not going to happen right away. We are working on a RFQ, request for qualifications for architectural services for this carport project and several other projects. Once we get through the RFQ process, architectural firm is selected, and we kind of lay out the scope of work that we're looking at. Obviously, one of the projects we'll be working with that architects and those engineers on is this carport here at Station 51. So more to come on that. Let's see. Commissioner Adman, we've got the additional Station 57 refrigerator still in the budget this year. We're working on trying to figure out where the best spot for that would be, as that there's some limitations there, but we do have one spot identified as a possibility. We're also looking at the potential for using some unused space under a part of the counter to put some under the counter refrigerator drawers to give us some more storage for refrigerator space, since a full-size refrigerator might prove challenging to fit into the existing layout of the station.
There's no space in the medic quarters?
In their bedroom?
Yeah. It is.
Maybe.
Oh.
It might be a long ways to go to get your yogurt out of the refrigerator. Station 51 SCBA compressor project is, we have that quote in hand. We've been working with C Western on that. We've got a good plan, good plan in hand. Also working with the electrician to make sure that we've got all the electrical needs ready to go for that project. It's just going to be replacing the existing compressor where that's at. So I think we are good to go there. This is a sole source project that you guys approved previously, and to maintain that power system. That should be coming along pretty quickly. Obviously, we've got the academy going right now, and we're kind of leaning into that project to try and get that in place as soon as we can, because we know that the academy goes through using that compressor a lot.
Chief, is the existing compressor functional?
It is currently. We've had probably, I would say, since the start of 2024, that unit being out of service for a few days to a few weeks, probably 4 or 5 times.
Yeah.
And it's just not the techs that are out servicing it, just as we mentioned before, is just not sustainable to keep making the repairs nor financially beneficial. So we've also just last couple items in the facilities capital items. One was a SCBA decon washer, working with the electrician again on that, and trying to find the best location to put it. Or it looks like we'll be putting it over in the kind of the mop bucket area to the north side of the bay, where we can drain water, and we've got the electrical and water hookups for it. But that'll be a big upgrade to the health and safety components of how we prepare and clean our equipment. So we don't have a quote in hand, but we do have a plan in place. We've gone up and looked at South County Fire and talked to some other agencies that use those SCBA washers, and learned a lot of good things, and really excited about getting that in place and being able to clean our equipment in a better way. And then the last little capital item is that we have some money in the budget for an upgrade to the locker room downstairs that we use for our day staff. And right now we've just got some old metal lockers in there, but we're looking at putting some more functional lockers in there where we can allow a few more people to have some lockers and absorb the capacity of the building a little bit better.
Is that here?
Yeah, here, 51 downstairs, next to the gym. So it's kind of a good location next to the gym, next to the bathrooms down there. So, working on finding the right size lockers to put in there. I guess the last little thing is we've got, some money set aside to replace the two, not the Pathfinders, I'm sorry, I'm drawing a blank on the old Chevys outside there, Trailblazers, the two Trailblazers that are the oldest in the fleet. We've got, the state bid is open and we've got some hybrid escapes that we can use to replace those for a good price, and we should be able to get those in hand within a few months and get them in service. We'll use the old Trailblazers potentially for kind of a shop drop-off vehicle when the mechanics need to go somewhere to just have a drop-off rig, and then they can take the apparatus back to the shop. But that's about, they've reached the end of their kind of life otherwise. But I'm excited about getting that replaced with a hybrid vehicle, and feeling good about that. So that's about it. Any questions from anybody on any of that?
Chief, will this,
Brief overview.
yeah, well, the SCBA washer, will that be the only one in the whole organization?
No, we also have one budgeted for out of the shoreline budget for station 63.
Maybe for the audience or other people who don't know, what is an SCBA washer?
Yeah, good question. So, kind of a new product out there on the market in the last few years. After a fire, you know, we try and follow what's called, the state put out a document called healthy in, healthy out practices, right? It allows us to put some best practices in place for cleaning our equipment and ourselves to get the contaminants off of us after a fire. That includes us getting back to the station, taking a shower, getting that off, any contaminants off of our skin. All our bunker gear goes straight into the extractor to get washed. We change out hoods at a fire. So because the neck area is an area where, you know, those carcinogens can get into our body. But we still unfortunately use an old school system to cleanse some of our equipment, including our SCBA air packs. And that's really just putting it on the back apron, spraying it with a hose and scrubbing it with a car wash brush, which really doesn't clean the contaminants off of it entirely, right? So it's a rough decon and not a fine decon. So what these SCBA washers do is allow you to put 3 or 4 packs into the machine. It looks like a commercial dishwasher, and it increases the temperature up to a pretty high level, but a level low enough that it doesn't harm any of the components of the SCBA pack. You can also do the face masks, helmets, boots, gloves, things that sometimes don't get thrown in the extractor or only get washed with a hose and brush. So all of those things can go through a higher temperature cleaning with soap that does it again like a commercial dishwasher, and then flushes that contaminated water out of the system, a clean wash, and then you can set that stuff off to dry and have some more confidence that we're, you know, professionally cleaning that to the best of our ability technology wise in the station. So it's just a huge safety and health and safety improvement for our personnel.
Hugh, does it clean the bottles as well?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's great.
Bottles, packs, and some of the gear I mentioned.
Correct.
You can even put small tools in there and things like that. Yeah.
Other questions and comments for the chief on this update on capital projects? All right. Moving on, item 5, board resolutions. We have none. Consent agenda, entertain a motion.
Make a motion that we accept the consent agenda as presented.
Okay, it's been moved.
I'll
second?
second that.
Moved and seconded. Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And aye. Okay. Item 7. Fire chief's report.
Had that in front of you, yes?
Uh,
Did you get a copy of that?
I did not. Is it
I have one here, but
Okay.
it's pretty generic, nothing. Just mainly meetings is what I got out of most of it. It's been real busy for him in meetings.
Yep.
And nothing that I saw that was outstanding.
Any progress in contract negotiations?
We were supposed to have that meeting today, but got postponed, so we're having our meeting next Tuesday. Yeah, so with we've had several staff, somehow the bug has gone through the
Mhm.
department lately. So with chief out today, we postponed until next Tuesday. Yeah. I have one thing to add. I wanted to make sure that all of you had on your calendars. I don't think it probably made it in the chief's report, but we've selected June 7th as the open house pancake feed day here at Station 51.
I just wrote that down.
Okay, oh, you did?
Yeah, I was gonna ask that question.
Okay,
So June 7th.
June 7th. So hope you can all make it, come be a part of it, help flip some pancakes again. And much more to come on that, but I wanted you to have a save the date.
Okay. Any other questions for the chief on his report?
I had a quick question, just following up with the Bothell fire and wondering what's going on with them and the contract for service.
Yeah, it's pretty much status quo at this point, and I don't want to speak on behalf of the chief, I guess maybe just from my perspective. Things are going fine. Obviously, Chief Worms had been over in Buffalo, as you know, and is now back at Shoreline as designed per the plan. BC Cross was promoted to Division Chief Cross, and she's Division Chief of Operations for Bothell, reporting to Chief Worms. And that structure that's in place is just continuing. Chief Cowan does meet with Bothell City staff on a regular basis, including the city managers, deputy city manager, HR as necessary, and the Bothell administrative personnel. I meet personally with BC Savino, who is the BC of support services over there. And we have a lot of conversations about projects that Bothell has ongoing that BC Savino is overseeing, as well as some of the work that they're doing with trying to determine next steps for their new ladder truck. So there's been a lot of work going into that. I think there's actually a District 10 meeting tonight that is going on. So I think for lack of a better word, it's just kind of status quo at this point. And we'll see how next steps play out over there. So
Question, are they, when do they negotiate their labor? Or do you,
good question. I don't have an answer for you, but I can write that question down and we'll find an answer.
okay.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
Okay, any other questions for the chief? All right, any commissioner reports?
I do have a report.
Commissioner Admin.
I can report that I'm retired from the Shoreline Fire Department, so I'm no longer an employee of the Shoreline Fire Department.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Conflict resolved.
What are your plans for the first 6 months?
A couple months of some traveling, and then I'm picking up with some kind of volunteer and nonprofit responsibilities starting in April.
Excellent. I'll report out just that I want to say thank you to the administration of Shoreline. Thank you to the firefighters, union leadership, citizens, city council members who showed up, both from Kenmore and Lake Forest Park to support the RFA process. And it feels really good. I feel like we've done the right thing. We're headed in the right direction. And that I look forward to working really hard to fulfill the promises and that we made. So, yeah, Thank you. Right. Legal counsel.
Thank you. Yeah, I'll take this opportunity just to say congratulations to you on the success of the RFA. Definitely when I joined as your legal counsel 5 years ago or so, it was something that you guys had been discussing even at that time. And it's just, I know many of you have been through that whole process with us, and just quite an achievement. I would take this opportunity to kind of reflect on election season after every election, and one thing that came up in this one in a fairly positive way is just a reminder that public resources aren't used to support or oppose any particular ballot measure. So while both boards were obviously pushing this forward, when it came to the voters, um, Chief Cowan and some of the commissioners took efforts to make sure that the information that was being put out there to the public was objective, factual based rather than persuasive. Or when you were advocating, you were doing so in a personal capacity. So I just commend you on compliance with those legal requirements. The process from this point on is there are still legal steps to be taken, but the goal ultimately is to kind of consolidate your resources. So one of the questions that will be presented to the board at some point when the fire chief's ready is what to do with the termination of the contract. My current understanding is that the contract between Shoreline and North Shore will no longer need to exist, of course, and that because the resources are being pooled in this new RFA, that there won't be any sort of reconciliation, like a mid-year reconciliation. So those are questions for the board. So the fire chief and I are working on kind of how does that transition occur most efficiently, and those questions will be ultimately brought to you as the commission to make decisions on what's best for the future. Yeah, so that's my legal report. Unless there's any questions.
Mr. Braxton, that did come up, I think, in an email that Chief Cowan sent out. I just wanted to make sure that there wasn't some, accounting process that we needed to follow where that money went one direction and then back, or that it wasn't going to get flagged by an auditor, or like, I don't know if this is the appropriate time to speak to that. I'm sure that will come out later, but it's a curiosity.
That's a good question. I mean, I think that's why the chief approached us about that question. Both me and Brian were of the opinion that an auditor would not criticize that decision. It's the applicable constitutional provision is a gift of public funds. One agency is not supposed to be subsidizing the other agency. The first element of that analysis is a donative intent, meaning that you're trying to give away money that doesn't that belongs to that agency. Here we decided that there was no donative intent because the intent has always been to pool your resources. It's like the practice of reconciling whether money goes from Shoreline to North Shore or North Shore to Shoreline, however that would wash out, would ultimately be irrelevant because those resources do get pooled into the RFA. And so that being kind of an outcomeless exercise, and there's no donative intent involved there. The advice we gave was that it's not required to provide that reconciliation out of just a contractual obligation.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Okay. Setting of future meeting agendas. We have the kind of the carrying forward of the fire benefit charge appeals hearing. I'd like to add a discussion at our next regular meeting on what our meetings look like going forward. And another item on the suggestion that Mr. Marin made that we carry forward the policies of the North Shore Board of recording the meetings, both visual and audio, as well as the notes that go out, meeting notes. Any other items for future or our April meeting?
Do you want to keep a capital projects update
Please.
and then also keep the update on the RFA transition?
Yeah, we'll have the chief report out on that. And DC Hochstein, if you could communicate to Chief Cowan kind of a roadmap going forward, next steps, deadlines.
Yep.
Yes.
Discussions like the bond issue is a good issue, how it's funded. And I think that's discussion for a lot of people. Bond issue,
Okay,
yeah, should be put on her. Keep it as one of the discussions on here, because we do have to finish paying our bond. That's an issue that the RFA has to deal with.
I think that's pretty well spelled out in the RFA plan. If I'm maybe Mr. Paxton, if you could address that, the issue of the bond that the North Shore Fire Department has for Station 51.
I'm unfortunately not prepared to speak on that right now. I believe that what happens is that North Shore remains the holder of that, and that the bond levy will be continued to be assessed. But I'm sorry, I hadn't reviewed that in advance of this meeting.
No, that's my understanding as well.
We need to find out how that fits into the RFA and funding and there's some good points brought up about how that's funded.
Would that be a separate discussion?
I think we should keep it,
Or
keep,
would RFA transition?
well, it's something that we need to keep as our board as on the agenda to talk about and make sure the RFA board talks about it. And we get a resolution to, and equity.
Next payment of the, what kind of bond?
What is that? Outstanding
General obligation.
general obligation bond.
Okay,
I took those notes down. Sure.
great. Thanks, Chief. Appreciate it.
Are you?
Okay, with no objection, meeting is adjourned.